Hello and thank you for joining me. I'm Heather Forgan of stampwithnellie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the UK. And this is my last Sale-A-Bration Sunday project for 2025. It just seems to have flown past. So we're in the last few days of Sale-A-Bration. It ends on the 28th of February 2025. And today I'm going to use the Friendly Seagulls stamp set again, and I'm also going to be using Stampin' Right markers, and that is one of the choices if you join as an independent demonstrator during Sale-A-Bration, is that you get the usual deal of £130 worth of products for just £99, but you can also get 2 packs of these Stampin' Right markers, and from memory they're £35-ish, and they're not just like felt tip pens. They are the same ink as the Stampin' Up ink pads, so you can do a whole host of things with them, like colouring directly onto your stamps, so that you get different colours rather than just stamping onto an ink pad. So I'm going to play about with them, and this is what I've created. Now it stands up like that. It's got this cute little seagull that is shouting, "Hey friend." We've got this background, and that's where the Stampin' Right markers will come in. I've got a little bit of crumb cake card at the bottom there, and a little bit stamping on that, and I've got those postage dies. What are they called? What are they called? They are the perennial postage dies. So I've used the largest one for that, and then you can pull. You kind of have to hold the bottom there. Pull that up. It reveals a pack of French fries and this other little sentiment that says, "Love you more than French fries." And it will go back down, but it's a bit crinkly to do that on camera. I'll sort that later, but you get the drift. Actually, go down if you do it that way, Heather. And this designer series paper is also a Sale-A-Bration freebie as well. It is the, what's it called, Blomm Impressions. So I've used that one there for that. Okay, so let's get on and make another one. I am starting off with a full sheet of the designer series paper. So it's 12 by 12, and I'm going to cut that down to whatever I will add on my sticky note there. So I'm going to cut it down to 6 3/4 first off. I did try and see if I could get it from one sheet, so that I could get, get 2 from one sheet. But I had to kind of really squish the packet of French fries down like that, and it just didn't really work. So I've just gone with it. Right, I need to score this now at, where did you put that sticky note again? just leave it here. I need to score that at 3 inches, and I'm just going to give it the lightest of scores because I don't really want it to be too harsh, and it is just paper. And 8 1/4. Okay, there we go. And that is that for this piece. Just gently fold that along that score line there. I'm not going to burnish it, just folding it. Okay, and then I want to have some glue along here, and there's a decent overlap. If I can get the glue to work, there we go. So I can be quite generous with my glue, and on the inside of the other end. Okay, and then that comes over there, and we've got our overlap glued at both ends. Alright, so that is the main bit of the packaging. I need to put a hole in here. I'm eyeballing that roughly halfway. Okay, and then we can go on and do the image on here. Okay, so as I said, I've got the largest die from Perennial Postage, and then I've got this piece here that measures 4 3/4 by 3 1/2, and that's gonna go in the middle there like that. Okay, but we need to add our sea skyscape on there, and that is where we come in with some Stampin' Up markers. And a Stampin' Spritz with just water in it, and I have this that a packet of dies came in, and I rescued it from my trash, and that's what we're going to use as our kind of palette. So I'm using the brush end, not the bullet end, and I'm just going to scribble a generous amount of each of these 3 inks. So that was Misty Moonlight, I've got Azure Afternoon, and then Coastal Cabana, plenty on there. And then I'm going to give it a good spritz with water. And that probably should have filled up the water. I've got little bits coming out. That's fine. And this technique can probably normally use watercolour paper, but you can do it with basic white. Let's go a little bit on there. It doesn't matter because I think it's the same ink. And then I'm going to plop that down on there. See how that looks. If we need anything else, we can just go in and just mop up the rest of that ink on there. Now, bearing in mind that that bit's going to get covered with the crumb cake ink. Definitely think I should have had a bit more water on it. Okay, so we can just kind of go in and get a little bit more where we think we want it. A little bit more in there as well, and we can mix them up a little bit. It's much more of a stormy sea, isn't it? Obviously this kind of warps with the water, so I'm going to use my heat tool to dry that off, and actually I think I might try and spray it a little bit more, see if we can get more of that colour to run a bit. I do prefer the other one, but you're never going to get two the same. Right, I'm going to dry this off. Right, so while that was still warm, I've thrown a block on there and try and get that to flatten out as much as possible. It's not great, but we're going to glue it down. So let's, should have got a bigger block. I don't know where my bigger block is. Oh, no matter. No matter. Right, so I'm going to leave that to the side. We've got our little seagull here that we need to stamp. So I've got a scrap of basic white card here and basic grey. And we're just going to stamp him. I'll colour him and then I'm going to fussy cut him. But I don't want to have to fussy cut those legs. So what I did was stamp the legs on that layer and then fussy cut the body and stuck them to the legs. That way you didn't have to fussy cut those silly bits. Okay, I've got Stampin' blends here. I've got Smoky Slate, light and dark, and I've got light pumpkin pie. And this is where I need my glasses. So I'm just going to colour his beak. Then go in with light. Wrong end, want the other end. In with light and just colour that bit there. And I'm going to do just a little bit of shading around here. Now that looks rather dark, but don't worry, we will take that down a bit. So round his wing. And we'll do a little bit down here as well. All right, then I'm going to come in with the dark for the tips of the wings. So, and then I've got my colour lifter, and I'm just gonna maybe better with the other end actually. Just kind of go over that so that it's taking it down a little bit and kind of making it not quite such a harsh line. Kind of helps bleed it out a little bit as well. There we go. That'll do. Right, let me fussy cut this guy now. I have my paper snips, super sharp, and I'm just going to go straight in, and I'm going to cut right at the line. Okay, so normally fussy cutting I would leave a little bit, not with this. I am just gonna, and you'll see I've cut his legs off. Okay, so let's just move that around. I'm not the best at fussy cutting. I don't have the dexterity, but I get there. Got there. Right. So, I actually have a piece of crumb cake that I ripped off of there, so that is that bit there. So I'm just going to use this, but I'm going to take it down a little. No, in fact, no, I quite like it that way. Right, I'm just going to go for it. Let us just glue this onto here, just lining up that edge, and again that could be a little bit more tricky because of the card warping a little bit with the wet and then the heat, and then just trim that off there. Okay, so I want him to be around about here. So what I need to do is I'm going to clean this stamp with my chamois, and then with my basic grey I am just going to ink up the bottom of the stamp. So I've got a little bit of his body just to guide me. Okay, so decide where I want him to be, like there. Okay, and then that sits on there like that, and I've got Stampin' Right marker to colour in his webbed feet, just because they're small and I don't need to worry about blending ink. There we go. That's him. So let us get some glue on here. I do want to make sure I've got the tip of his beak with a tiny bit of glue on it, and same with his tail feathers. Oops. So I'm just putting glue on and using the tip to move it out. And then try not to get glue all over me. Put some on there too. Line that up and press it down. Easy! Love it. Right, a little bit of detail on the, in fact, let's just put the birdies on. So this is a stamp from, they're all stamps from the free Friendly Seagulls. We've got much stormier sea and sky on this one. And then crumb cake with the shells. I'll just put some along here. We've got shells there, and then there's a little one that's like pebbles. So we'll do the same, and we'll put that kind of around about his feet. Like so. So we've got our little scene there. We need our, I need a little scrap, which I've forgotten to look out. So we do for the Hey Friend sentiment. And this time oh no, I have got a bit. I've decided on that one, I just cut it. Decided on this one, I think we can just squeeze it in to this small postage, perennial postage label. So, Hey Friend. And yeah, that squeezes in there nicely. So a little bit of washi tape on that, and then I can die cut that. And we're nearly at the point of getting this bit completed. I'm just going to stick that on there. And then stick it all onto this die cut. So just trying to coerce it a little. And then line that up so that we've got that kind of postage stamp edge all the way around. And that's why I use liquid glue, so that I can just kind of gently move it around until I'm happy, and then flatten it all out. Lovely. Right, so it needs a little hole at the top there as well, and then that's that bit done. And then I need to do my second little sentiment bit. That's gone through 2 layers, so a little bit more effort required. Right, and this one I am going to stamp. I've got a bit of fluff on it. I love you more than, and French fries. Awesome. Then, where's my basic grey again? There's a tiny little stamp that has a pack of French fries. So I'm just going to do the fries rather than the pack along the bottom here. Like that, and then come in with Lemon Lolly Light and just add a little bit of colour to these fries. Cute. Right, we're ready to assemble. Let me get rid of all of the bits and bobs I don't need, and I've got some ribbon that's already off the reel. I think it might have been the end of the reel here, or I might have used it on something else, possibly, because it looks like it's been tied. Never mind. So put the ribbon through like that. Okay. Then take your packet of French fries, pop them in there, and push it right down to the bottom. You might need to encourage it from the bottom. Because the pack's full of air, it's a little bit more tricky than if you do this with like a packet of chocolate or something. Right. Okay, so we've got that in there, and the ribbon is round it. Ribbon comes there, and that's where your mechanism comes from. Okay, so you pull that and it comes up, and then you have to put it back down again. Like that. Okay. I then want to check where this, if I put it there, that is definitely going to be covered with that, and then when it pulls up, we'll get, bring it down a little bit actually, so you can see it a little bit earlier in the process. in the middle, like that. A few more than French fries. You could obviously do this, but before you put your French fries in. Guess who forgot? Then I'm going to take this end and put it from the back to the front. This is way more ribbon than anyone would need, however. I'm just going to shorten it a little bit. There we go. Then just tie that, not too tight. With your bow. Chop off the excess. Just neaten that up. And right there. Excellent. And there we have it. We have 2 of these packs. Just bring that right there. Totally different looking sky. I obviously used more water on that one than I did on that one. But same kind of effect, and cute little extra sentiment underneath there when you pull to reveal your treat. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please click on the subscribe button, click the bell and get notification the next time I upload a tutorial. Please remember, only a few days left of Sale-A-Bration. Get your freebies while you can.